Before my daughters, life is so blindingly different. I wear combat boots every day, all day, from Houston up to 14th Street, from 2nd Avenue to Avenue B. They go with a vintage 70s white lace mini dress or a boy's undershirt and a push-up bra. They're summer marching boots, steel toe, stiff black leather with oily black soles that weigh 24 times more than my feet. In these boots, I walk alone at 2 a.m. They're so damn heavy, I could kick through a brick wall. I ended up in the East Village after it takes me 10 years to put myself through college. I went to a world-renowned design school in Pasadena, California, and by the time I graduate, I give the valedictorian speech. In New York, I work as an art director at one of the top ad agencies. But I quickly find out I'm working 80 hours a week for a cokehead and a bunch of assholes who stop telling jokes when I walk in the room. So I walk away from steady paychecks and a real future to join the somewhat self-destructive East Village art scene. It's the tail end of the AIDS apocalypse when the only residents are Boricua, Hell's Angels, drag queens, hardcore musicians, junkies, and artists. My generation of art freaks flounder for the 90s, thriving on nihilism and the color black, having nervous breakdowns or sex, and booking shows. I'm a spoken word poet and perform at the New Eurekan Poets Cafe on East 3rd. I host the Wednesday night open slam, sometimes dressed as a poet, maybe like Emily Dickinson or Sylvia Plath. But I start working alternative comedy clubs. I get signed by a manager. I have an agent. I smoke. I drink. I never cook. I work for just enough money to eat, and there is no future. But it doesn't matter what I did before having kids, because motherhood is the great equalizer. No matter how strong or weird you were before motherhood puts you in your place. Okay, one secret awful truth is that when a man has a baby born to him, the baby is not confused by who he is. This big, hairy being who smells familiar is separate, strong, loud, but over there. But for women, it's completely different, because newborns cannot separate who they are from the mother. The newborn sees the mother and thinks they are the mother. No separation. When my children first saw themselves in a mirror, they didn't recognize themselves because in their mind, their face was my face, and they were just watching some random baby moving its hand at the same time as I'm moving my hand. And this connection and process of becoming separate, it goes on for years. And that's only the beginning of how crazy different it is to be a mom than a dad, and how intense the connection is for women, and how demanding the need for us is from our children. And how do I go back to work and act like I did before the baby? Because as I separate for even an hour, my breasts swell like they might explode and ache and get hard and leak, and they disgust people. And hormonally, the sound of any child anywhere gives me the same feeling. Does it sound familiar, Ben? No? And do women get any credit for this? Do we get any kind of freaking break? I'll tell you what we get. We get pressure to get back the body we had when we first attracted our partners. Did you know there is a plastic surgery called vaginal rejuvenation? Yeah. So not only do my waist and boobs need to look prepubescent, but even are you kidding? When my first daughter's born, there is no way to go back to work. She cries full lung, without soothing, 12 to 14 hours a day, and is awake screaming every 15 minutes at night. She dislikes being touched, washed, bathed, or massaged. Her chin is clenched to her chest and her hands locked into fists, so she smells like moldy cheese at 4 months. And I will never forget the first time she sleeps 4 hours in a row at 14 months old, August 16th, 2002. Thank you. I have no family other than my husband. All my friends are single and distracted, and I can't get dressed or feed myself because I have a baby with central nervous system something disorder, and daycares won't take a baby like this. So when she's 6 months old, I'm told I have to let my job go. And my story is just so ordinary. Throughout time, it has been the destiny of women to work hard or harder, and I'm pretty sure way harder, without awards or acknowledgement or gratitude. I met a woman who birthed and raised 30 children. Birthed and raised, but I don't remember her name. The fucked up thing is, nobody does. Women work. Unpaid, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and worth nothing, like a self-imposed enslavement. Not only do I have nothing to show for my work, but it appears I actually did nothing. As I've been told, no one saw my work. And without job titles, recommendations, or certificates, frankly, I have nothing to show for working harder, longer, and without pay than most any man. All my learning, dedication, overtime, and creativity would be ridiculed at any job interview if I self-validated 15 years of accomplishment. And I produced 2 valuable members of society. Without pay, without being seen. Your toilet is clean, your dinner is served, your dish is washed before you eat, somehow you're wearing clean clothes, or you have a toothbrush, or you saw a dentist. Magically, you're washed up after puking all over everything at 2 a.m. and given medicine and tucked back into bed. But no one does this work. After all, it's expected, so it's nothing. It's stupid work anyone can do. They just don't feel like it. Any idiot can create a beautiful place that you call home and contact guests and shop for the meal and lug it in and cook 14 dishes and serve it on time and get dressed and manage everyone's physical and emotional needs while cramping and bleeding. And don't talk about that. Don't mention your passing clots. Just take a pill and shut up. Because your body functions are disgusting. And it's Christmas. And at Christmas, we sit while someone serves and cleans up because it's Christmas and it's time to relax and celebrate. But invisible over there is working her ass off. And why? Why do women participate? Because if you don't do it, you're a terrible mother. And guess what? You've never been a terrible anything. So even though you were a rebellious punk rocker, now you're a mom. And in order to be a great mom, 'cause you're great, and that's who you are, you do it. You do it all. Every holiday, birthday, and bedtime story, physical exercise, nutrition, and spiritual practice, clothing, crafts, thank you cards, and socializing. And all the while, pretty, because I need to look hot and 19, because even when exhausted and overworked, I want to be seen as who I am. And I'm great. So I'm wearing makeup and curling my hair and trying to stay out of pajamas if I only had time to get dressed. But things break. And if you don't clean up the glass, a child will cut their foot. So even though you have their flu and you wish you had time for a hot washcloth pit wash, you clean up the glass and you vacuum it up and you mop, because you're a great mom, because that's who you are. Yeah. And after 15 years later, after all the work and success, I try to go back to work and nothing. I have nothing for a resume because how can I quantify my work if no one saw me do it, right? Invisible. I brought down 104.5 fever on a 3-year-old in the middle of the night by myself. As a volunteer, I ran events that coordinated 150 athletes and 300 members of the public, which included serving a full meal while nursing my second, while running a small business part-time on the side. And I fermented my own sourdough yeast, motherfuckers. I educated my children at home in the 3 R's and civics. Yeah, civics. I taught civics to kids and they liked it. You know what I ended up doing? Cleaning houses. You know why? Because any woman can get work cleaning a house. Just look at her. Because I need work and no one will believe the resume I want to create, and I don't have job experience to prove I can run the business I'm applying to. Even Lowe's turned me down the first time I apply. Lowe's. And I say first time because I was so desperate, I applied again. After all I've done, it's all just memories. It's all just personal accomplishment, like being a good knitter. So I'm done, and I'm asking a favor. Do not underestimate any woman, no matter the work she does or the wrinkles she eventually wears. Women are incredible beings. When you see a woman, please see her, because we are fucking amazing.